Your homepage title says home. Your H1 says welcome. And you're wondering why Google's ignoring you. Today we're fixing that. This is SEO fucking what? I'm Nikki, and I've been doing SEO for over 30 years, before it was even called SEO. I help people like you get found on search and make actual money from your actual website. Today we're getting into something that sounds a little bit boring, but it's absolutely not. Because getting this wrong is one of the most common reasons good websites rank like shit. We're talking about H1s and meta titles, what they are, how they work together, and why yours are probably doing you absolutely no favours right now. Right, let's start with the thing that trips people up the most. H1s and meta titles are not the same thing. They're related, they need to work together, but they're different. They serve different purposes, and confusing the two is costing you rankings. I've mentioned meta titles before. Back in episode 14, when I went off about how your competitors aren't SEO geniuses, they've just done the basics. It's because they've told Google what the website is about, and you haven't. One of those basics was meta titles. Your homepage says home, your about page says about, your services page says services, and I said then, and I'll say it again now, you've told Google absolutely fuck all about what you actually do. But today, I want to go deeper than that, because it's not just about having a meta title that isn't useless. It's about understanding how the meta title and the H1 work as a pair. Because when they're working together properly, Google gets a really clear signal about what your page is about. When they're not, you're muddy in the water, and Google does not like muddy water. So, what is a meta title? It's the title that shows up in search results. When someone Googles something and gets a list of results, those blue clickable links, that text is your meta title. It's also sometimes called the SEO title or the title tag. Google reads it, searchers read it, and it's the first real signal you're giving both of them about what your page contains. And what is an H1? It's the main heading on your actual page. Usually big text at the top that tells someone who's landed on your page what they're looking at. On most platforms, when you create a new page or blog post, whatever you call it becomes your H1. You can change it. On pages, you should change it. Now here's where people go wrong, in two different directions. Some people make both exactly the same, which isn't always a problem, but it's a missed opportunity because the meta title and the H1 do slightly different jobs. Your meta title is working in the search results, convincing someone to click. Your H1 is working on the page, telling the person who's already clicked that they're in the right place. You've got two shots at reinforcing your message, and making them identical means you're only really taking one. The other mistake, and this one's worse, is making them completely disconnected. A meta title that says HR Consultancy Manchester, Workplace Support for SMEs, and then an H1 that says Helping Your People Thrive. I don't care how lovely that sounds. That H1 is doing sweet fuck all for your SEO. Nobody is typing Helping Your People Thrive into Google. Nobody. Ever. Google looks at your meta title, then looks at your H1, and it's checking that they're telling the same story. If your meta title says you're an HR consultant in Manchester, and your H1 is just a motivational poster, Google is confused. And a confused Google does not rank you well. So what should the relationship look like? Think of the meta title as the promise, and the H1 as the delivery on that promise. Your meta title gets someone to click. Your H1 confirms to them and to Google that the page delivers what it said it would. Back in episode 13, when I talked about not writing blogs like a diary, I mentioned that your H1 should include your target key phrase, and the title should say what the post is actually about, not something cute and cryptic. The same principle applies across your whole site. Your services page H1 should not say services. It should say something like HR consultancy services for growing businesses, or commercial cleaning services in Leeds, something a human might actually search for. And your meta title supports that. Maybe it goes a bit further. Maybe it includes your location if it's not in your H1, or a specific service. Maybe it addresses the search intent a bit more directly. But both of them are pointing at the same thing. Same topic, same key phrase family, same page. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a bookkeeper in Bristol. Your services page meta title might be Bookkeeping Services for Bristol Freelancers with Fixed Monthly Fees. Your H1 on that same page, Fixed Fee Bookkeeping Services for Freelancers. Add in Bristol if you like. Different wording, same core message, both including the key phrase, both making sense to a human reader. Google sees those two working together and thinks, right, this page is absolutely about fixed fee bookkeeping for freelancers in Bristol. Let's rank it for searches on that topic. And now a word about your homepage specifically, because that one needs a little bit more thought. Your homepage H1 is probably the most important single piece of text on your entire website for a reader. And yet, on so many sites I look at, it's welcome to company name, or it's a tagline that made sense in a branding meeting, but means absolutely nothing to Google. If someone landed on your homepage and couldn't see your logo or your navigation, would they know what you do and who you do it for from your H1 alone? If the answer is no, fix it today. Not next week, today. Your homepage meta title and H1 should, between them, tell Google what you do, who you do it for, and ideally where you do it if location is relevant to your business. That's the job. And while we're here, one more thing. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it because people keep doing it. Your H1 is not the place for your company name unless your company name describes your service. If your company is called Hartley and Associates, that tells Google and your reader nothing. If your company is called Doncaster Business Insurance, well, your name is your key phrase, lucky you. But for most people, your company name goes in your logo, in your intro paragraph, in your footer. It does not get to be the main event in your H1. And let's talk about the tools and plugins situation, because I know some of you are sitting there staring at Yoast, going red and panicking. In episode 14, I said your competitors aren't SEO geniuses. They've just done the basics. The basics include not letting a fucking plugin think for you. These tools will sometimes tell you your H1 and meta title need to be the same. They don't. Sometimes they'll tell you that your H1 is too long or too short. Often they're wrong. They're working from a checklist. You're working from understanding. Trust the understanding. The rule is simple. Does your meta title clearly describe what the page is about and include the key phrase someone will search for? Does your H1 confirm that promise to anyone who lands on the page? Are they working together, not fighting each other? If yes to all three, you're fine. Green smiley face or not. In a moment, I'm going to give you exactly what to do this week to sort out your H1s and meta titles without spending a single penny or touching anything you don't need to touch. Don't go anywhere. Here's your homework, and I mean it. Do this because unlike most things in SEO, this takes a little bit of time and you'll see results quite quickly. Open every page on your website. Start with the home page, your main services page, and your 3 most visited pages according to Google Search Console. You are using Google Search Console, right? I talked about it in episode 19, and I will keep banging on about it until every single one of you has it set up, because it's free and it tells you pretty much everything. Now, for each page, find your meta title and your H1. Write them both down. Now ask yourself 3 questions. First, does my meta title include a key phrase someone would actually search for? Not your company name, not a tagline, a phrase with search volume? Second, does my H1 confirm the same topic and include a close variation of that key phrase? Third, would someone who landed on this page from Google immediately know they were in the right place? If any of those answers is no, rewrite. Keep the meta title under 60-ish characters or it'll get cut off in search results. Keep the H1 clear and direct. They don't have to be identical, but they need to be telling the same story. And one more thing. If you change a meta title or H1 on a page that's already ranking for something, check Search Console first. If that page is getting traffic for a specific key phrase, make sure you're keeping that key phrase in the new version. Don't fix what isn't broken. Before I go, if this episode has made you realise your on-page SEO is a bit of a mess and you want to sort the whole lot out properly, not just the H1s and meta titles, everything, my Non-Wanky on-page SEO course at nonwankyseo.com is everything I do for clients when I'm optimising their websites, laid out so you can do it yourself. It's £200 or £20 a month. 20 quid a month to stop flying blind with your website SEO. Go and have a look at nonwankyseo.com before I come to my senses and charge more for it. And make sure you're following SEO fucking what wherever you're listening right now, so you don't miss the next episode. If you've got a mate whose website homepage still says welcome, send them this. It might save them months of invisible mediocrity. Until next time, get found, make money, sort your fucking titles out.